Okay, so now we're going to turn this granny heart into a granny heart square. So for this next round, we're going to join a new color, and we're going to start with our right side facing. I like to start in the first bump. So if you are right-handed, that will be the right bump. If you're left-handed, that would be the left bump. And so you're going to join in that first corner. So this is the one where you have your single crochet and your chain 2 space. So you're going to insert your hook into that first chain 2 space, and you're going to join with a slip stitch. So you're just going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into that same chain 2 space. 1, 2. And this is going to be sort of the first part of our first corner. So now this next part, we're going to repeat twice into the next chain 4 space, which is here. So we're going to chain 1 and work 2 double crochets into this chain 4 space twice. So chain 1, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, that's 1, and then again chain 1 and 2 double crochets into this chain 4 space. 1, 2. Okay, so that is going to be, part of our next round of our square. And then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work into our next corners. This again is the single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet from the previous round. In that chain 2 space, we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. So a new corner. So 1, 2 double crochets, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets into the same chain 2 space. So I'm just going to lay this flat for a minute. So you can see, remember when I said it would all be covered up? You can't even see this round. So if you're, even from the back, everything is getting covered over. So not to worry if it was ugly looking, okay? Now we're going to start our next side, and it's going to be the same as that first side. So we're going to chain 1 and 2 double crochets into the chain 4 space twice. So chain 1, 1 double crochet, oops, 2 double crochets, so that's once, and then chain 1 and 2 double crochets into that same chain 4 space. And then we're going to head to our corner. Now our next corner is on the front of the heart. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go to that chain 2 space. Again, it was between our first 2 single crochets we worked on the previous round. And we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. So 1, 2, and then chain 2, and then 1, 2 double crochets. Okay, so that's our, so we have this one partial corner here in our first side. We have our second side with the corner on each side, and now we're going to go for our third side. So in this chain 4 space below the point of the heart, we're going to work that same side that we've been doing, which is a chain 1 and 2 double crochets in the chain 4 space twice. So chain 1, and then 2 double crochets, 1, 2, into that chain 4 space. And again, we're going to do that chain 1 and 2 double crochets into that chain 4 space, 1, 2. Okay, and now we're getting to our third corner, which again is on the front. It's right here. So again, that's the chain 2 space between the 2 single crochets from the previous round. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet into that chain 2 space. So 1, 2 double crochets, 1, 2 chains, and then 2 double crochets back into that chain 2 space. 1, 2. Okay, now we're on our 4th side, which will be our last side. We're going to repeat what we've been doing on all the sides. So it's going to be a chain 1, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then repeat that, chain 1 and 2 double crochets into the chain 4 space. 1, 2. Now we are back at this corner that we started in at the beginning, but you remember there was only 2 double crochets. So we're going to complete that first corner. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to 2 double crochet into that first chain 2 space. 1, 2. And we will be ending, as we've been doing in the previous rounds, with a chain 1 and then a single crochet to the top of the first double crochet, and that will be our first corner, which is that single crochet will count as the second chain in our chain 2 space. Okay, so this is how we are looking after round 5. And so for round 6, we're going to continue building out this square that's behind the heart. So this will be probably familiar to folks that have done traditional granny squares before, except that we're doing groups of 2 double crochet instead of 3. And that's because we started kind of in between a round, I should say, because our first round is rotated. And if we did the 3 double crochets, it would probably be kind of floppy and wonky from too many increases. So that's why we're doing groups of 2 double crochet. So for this corner, we're going to start with a chain 1 and then 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space. 1, 2. And then the way that we're going to work each side from now forward is we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space all the way across to the last chain 1 space on that particular side. So again, it's going to be a chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Okay, so we're going to repeat that across this row to our last chain 1 space. Okay, now that we've reached the last chain 1 space of that side, we're going to work our corner. And for our corner, we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 2 double crochets, and into the chain 2 space, we're going to work 2 double crochets, a chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So 1, 2, double crochets, 1, 2 chains, and then 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. Okay, so we're going to continue like that all the way around this square. And so again, on each side, we're going to work a chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space across the side. And after we've finished in the last chain 1 space on the side, we're going to work our corner, which is going to be a chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets and a chain 2 and 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat that around the next side as well until we get to our final side. And remember that our final side, we had started the corner there. So it's going to be slightly different. We're going to, again, repeat with the chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space across to the last chain 1 space for that side. And then when we get to the first corner chain 2 space, we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the last 2 double crochets. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that first chain 1 space. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to join with a single crochet to the top of the first double crochet. And again, that single crochet will count as the second chain in our chain 2 space. So this is how we're looking at the end of round 6. And then we're going to fasten off. Now for my project, I'm using a medium weight yarn and a J hook. Mine is 5 inches. Yours might be a different size at this point. And now we're going to pick our next color. Okay, we're going to join this again with a slip stitch. I prefer to use the top corner with our right side facing. Again, if you're right-handed, that'll be on the right bump. If you're crocheting left-handed, that'll be on the left bump. You're going to join with a slip stitch in that chain 2 space and then chain 1 to secure it. And then we're going to start with our partial corner again. So we're going to work 2 double crochets into that first chain 1 space. 1, 2. And then our side is going to be the same as our previous round, but it's just going to be more repeats. So what we're going to do is we're going to work a chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space across to the last chain 1 space of that particular side. So in this case, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats. And then our corner is going to be the same as what we did in the previous round. It's going to be chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat our sides all the way around. And I'll meet you at that final corner. So again, it's going to be a chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then work 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space across each to the last chain 1 space of that side. For our corner, we're going to work chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet in the corner chain 2 space. Okay, I'm at the last, I just finished my 2 double crochets in the last chain 1 space of the final side, and then I'm going to work that final partial corner. So I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to skip 2 double crochets, I'm going to work 2 double crochets in that first chain 2 space, and then I'm going to end off with a chain 1 and a single crochet to the top of the first double crochet, and that counts as the second chain 2 in my chain 2 space. And then for round 8, we're going to just repeat that row one more time. So we're going to chain 1, double crochet into the chain 2 space for 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. And then we're going to repeat the same side that we did before, which is chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. And we're going to repeat that all the way across this side to the last chain 1 space. For this round, that will actually be 5 repeats on each side. Okay, this is 5 repeats. And then we're going to work into this chain 2 space a 2 double crochet. Well, first we chained 1, and then 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Now you may be noticing that I'm using a different color than I did in the pattern that is shown for the Weekend Mystery Crochet Along Part 2, but you can use the colors whichever way you'd prefer. Okay, we are back at the first corner, and so we're going to finish that half corner with a chain 1, skipping 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets into that first chain 2 space, and then a single crochet and a double crochet to the top of the first double crochet, and that counts as the second chain of our chain 2 space. Now we're at the end of clue 2 for weekend mystery crochet along number 17 with Underground Crafter. So I used a different color combo in this version than I did in the pattern. I just forgot and I switched it. So for the pattern that you are working on, what I did is I used the 2 pinks alternating for the hearts, and I used the cream for this outer border. So if I had the dark pink heart, I used the light pink for these inner rounds. If I had the light pink heart, I used the dark pink for these outer rounds. And then I used the cream for the final 2 rounds. So you can do, however you'd like. For my version, this square is approximately 7 inches at this point. And so you're going to finish up all your squares, leave a long yarn tail approximately 3 times around your square, so 3 sides. And we will be back tomorrow with the final clue. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed your project. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you're watching this video. Have a great day.